The equations x equals t squared and y equals 3t are called parametric equations. T is called the parameter. For a value of t, we get a value of x and a value of y. We can make a table. Values of t, values of x, values of y. T goes from 0 to 3, then x is going to go from 0 squared to 3 squared. And the values of x should be very straightforward. Should be very easy to understand where these values of x come from just by plugging these values of t into this equation. The values of y, same thing. Plug the values 0 through 3 into the equation for y, and we get the values of y. Now there's more here, but that's related to what we have over here. So if we just focus on the white part of this table, we can then set a y-axis and an x-axis. And I've divided this axis into 9 increments, at least this interval of the axis. I've divided this interval of the y-axis into 9 increments, corresponding, of course, to the numbers 0 through 9 in each case, because we see that x values go from 0 to 9 and y values go from 0 to 9. Okay, well, then we see that we have the x, y values 0, both corresponding to t equals 0. So that we plot this point, and we understand that this point corresponds to the value 0 of the parameter t. Now the parameter t doesn't occur anywhere on this graph, but I just saw a mistake here, but I'll fix that. But that point does, okay? And the point 1, 3. Okay, that occurs here. X equals 1, y equals 3. Okay, then x equals 4, y equals 6. Here's x equals 4, y equals 6 is up here. I kind of missed that point when I plotted it, but I was looking at a weird angle. And the point 9, 9 here. And those points aren't very accurately plotted, but we can still see that there's a smooth curve between these points. And that as t goes from 1 to 3, from 0 to 3, the smoothness of these functions is going to give us a smooth graph and a nice smooth curve through these points. We can also reason out that if t takes negative values like -1, -2, -3, t squared is still going to be the same, but 3t is going to be the opposite of the values you get at t equals 1, 2, and 3. So that our y values, if we wanted to continue the table for negative values, the y values would all be negative, the x values would all be positive, always of the same magnitude, and that would give us a symmetry to this graph, giving us a curve down below the axis. So we have this graph. Now there are various properties of this graph that we want to talk about, but let's just understand where this graph comes from.